G'day folks, we've got a couple of old antiques here to look at. It's an old house being renovated in St. John's, and it's well over 100 years old. And some of the nails that it was originally built with, you see, have this shape. Now it kind of looks square, but in actual fact it's rectangular. So these are cut nails, and these would have been made up until about 1890 roundabouts. So we know that the house is older than that. And certainly from maps and other records we know that the house was made after 1859 and built before 1876, apparently, or 1879. Yeah, after 1856 and before 1879. So it was built in that time frame. And this style of nail that it was built with confirms that. And these nails were cut nails, and these developed before round nails. Round nails didn't come around till about 1890, roundabouts, and of course slowly spread. But these were available in several sizes. This is a 4 inch, this is a 3.5, and these are inch and a halves. These what lets were nailed on with, and then these lets were covered with plaster back in the day, long before gyprock and sheetrock and whatever you want to call that stuff, drywall. And the wiring was obviously installed after that, because it was knob and tube wiring. And this is the knob, and you can see it has these two grooves in here that the wire would fit into, and this would hold this wire as it's going along the side of a structure, so like a floor joist or something of that nature. So this would be a standoff, and this would be nailed on. Now you can notice these nails are round, so this obviously happened after the square nails went out of fashion, and round nails became the norm. These had a little washer, so when you're hammering them in, I guess you don't break the ceramic. This is in the days long before plastic. There was no plastic in those days. This is all ceramic. And the wiring, of course, didn't have plastic on it. It had a rubber insulation around the conductor, and then it had cloth covered wiring. And you could see also too that the electrical tape back in those days was cloth as well. And this is how splices were made. They were actually wrapped and soldered. And that solder still looks pretty good today. I mean, I unwrapped that tape, that's over 100 years old. And it's still intact, you know. Now, this is by no means safe by modern standards, and would certainly would fail any electrical code anywhere. But nevertheless, it was obviously built to last. Very sturdy stuff. This is the tube part of it. You heard tell of knob and tube wiring. Well, this is the knob and this is the tube. This is the part that the floor joists say would be drilled out if the wire had to pass right through it. And then this would be inserted into the wood, and then of course the wire would run through it afterwards in such a fashion, so the wire wouldn't actually touch the wood. So, you know, they were aware of heat from wires causing fires and so on. So this is the way wiring used to be done, house wiring, and at first, of course, was known as getting the lights in, and you'd get a few electric lights, and eventually, you got a few appliances. Toasters became one of the first ones apparently, and then it just progressed on from there. Other kitchen appliances, and on it went, and of course that's still happening right up to this day. But it's an interesting note on this wiring. It's not a real big wire. It's probably about a 14, I'm guessing, maybe a size 14. But it's very stiff. It's hard drawn copper, I believe it was known as. Very, very stiff. And you'll also notice too inside the insulation that it was tinned. It had a coating of solder right over the wire to resist corrosion. And I guess this also aided too, if the wire was pre-tinned with solder, it also aided in the process of having to splice something onto it. It's already soldered, so solder would readily stick onto it. Anyway, folks, I thought I'd share this, a little blast from the past on how things used to be done and the different eras of construction where square nails, or in actual fact these are not square, these are known as rectangular or cut nails. Square nails were before 1800, and we know it's not that old. But these are commonly referred to sometimes as square nails or rectangular nails. But if you look real close at them, you could see the little marks where they were cut on a press out of a sheet by a machine. So that's the way they used to be made. And then, of course, when wiring came along, well, they had round nails. And the round nails got hammered in. Imagine being an electrician and this is how you're installing your wiring. Well, that's the way it used to be, folks. Knob and tube. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little blast from the past, a look back in time and the history of building materials and how things used to be done. Take care. Bye-bye.